for example, I don't like Andrew Schultz, but I will defend his right to be able to make jokes and say what he wants to say, despite my personal grievances with him. You know what I mean? Like, I think free speech and being able to make jokes or whatever it may be, regardless of how I might feel about an individual, that person should be able to say whatever the fuck they want.
What personal grievances do you have with him?
He's a snake, dude. He's a snake. He brought us on his podcast to try to challenge us on, like, you know, our comments about black women. We made a joke saying, like, we don't dabble in the dark. And, like, him and Akash brought us in. It was clearly, like, a setup hit job to try to make us look crazy or whatever. And I was like, wait, aren't you guys comedians and make jokes on this? And you guys are over here trying to virtual signal to us? What the is this? So I was like, you know, and I just thought it was like very weird and snaky to like bring someone on your pod and try to ambush them and like try to like be the moral police. They got a lot of hate on it on there. If you look at their comments, like, what the fuck? I thought y'all were comedians, you know, and Akash over here trying to like virtue signal and shit. It's like, bro, like, I thought you guys were comedians and like, it is what it is.
Well, they're trying really hard to appease to black people because they want to be accepted in New York.
Yeah, so it was just like...
in New York?
Yeah, they want to be like, New York culture is kind of synonymous with black culture. Like, they're white and they're like, yeah, I listen to hip hop. So they can't make fun of black women. So they're supposed to defend them. Right.
Yeah, I see.
So, you know, that's which I thought was like kind of like just distasteful or whatever. Just like, and there's some other scenes just like just snaky behavior. You know what I mean? Like, if you bring someone on your show, right? And you've been on my show before, like, I always treat the guests really well. I don't try to ambush them. I always ask them, hey, anything you want to stay out, you don't want to talk about, you know what I mean? Like, I always show my guests like the utmost respect and hospitality.
It's interesting. You know, I feel like
what shocked me is that he's a comedian doing that. That's what shocked me. I was like, damn.
I get it. But to the overall idea, the illusion of like almost celebrity is kind of dying with the invent and like the popularity of social media.
Yeah,
like influencers. Like,
I agree.
So I just find it interesting, like, at what point does it all shift?
Back to celebrity?
I think The Rock is like one of the last ones that like blew up and is still like relevant now. But like, yeah, within like the next 10 years, dude, like a lot of these like A-list actors or like these actors are like gonna be, they're not gonna be as popular as like a Logan Paul or like some of these like big influencers. But like, you look at Logan Paul, he's woke now too, right? When he almost got canceled for the Japan thing, super woke now, dude. You know, he's very careful about what he says on his podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. When you have an energy drink like a Prime, etc., you have to have certain beliefs or whatever and frame yourself in a certain way to avoid cancellation, which is fine. I get it. It is what it is.
What do you mean when influencers overtake celebrities? Is that what you mean?
No, like when like our idea of like a celebrity is like kind of dead. When do you think that's gonna hit?
Next 10 to 20 years.
I think sooner than that, like 1 to 5. 1 to 5. People don't have the same amount of respect or connection to these people anymore. Like, you see them in a movie or whatever, and then like, oh, they get exposed to going to Diddy parties or Epstein's Island.
But I mean, you don't think it's because of that necessarily. You think it's because like where eyes are now with social creators and like how the interaction is so much greater. Because like an artist or like someone in a movie, actor, whatever, right? They've never like they're acting and they're in this and they're this role, but they're not like, hey,
I see what you mean.
Who I am.
Yeah.
But real influence is being able to change somebody's life. Saying something that resonates with them, speaking, they're trying to motivate them, inspire them, talking about what's going around in the world, like having that personal connection with them. Like, we have a really good connection with our audience. We talk to them all the time in Twitter spaces.
Well, that's why
we have a strong community.
Like,
that's like having that sort of personal relationship where these people are actually like, their lives are getting better because they're listening to the content. That is real influence. Seeing somebody in a movie like, oh, someone wrote lines for you and you put on a wig, like, that's not like, you'll be like, ooh, for a second. And then what are you going to talk about? You don't actually care about this person. This person hasn't changed your life. You've seen them, but you don't actually care about them.
But I see your question now. So like, yeah. So with traditional celebrities, right? You're like, you know, your Tom Cruises, your famous actors, right? That were like in famous movies, right? Like, they were obviously, they're very politically correct. They're in Hollywood. You want to get the best role. You have to have certain viewpoints, beliefs. I see influencers going to that trajectory now too.
Yeah. Because now, when they're also like, when they go to these castings now for people coming up, it's like, well, how many followers do you have?
Yeah.
So it is also closely now.
Social media is the new thing. So like, since social media influencers are like the new celebs, right? They're now starting to, now they're getting publicists. Now they're watching what they say. Now they're like doing certain things.
It's crazy.
You know, and like a lot of influencers I've met are like just fucking fake. Let's keep it. I'm just going to keep it a million. Like a lot of them are fake, dude. They're one way on camera, but they have a completely different belief system off camera. And I get it. But that's where we're going. Like when Andrew Schultz pulled that shit, I was like shocked. I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? You're over here trying to virtue signal now and cape for black women when it's like, aren't you a comedian? Like, you don't understand. Huh?
I like Andrew. Yeah.
I lost a lot of respect for him after that. Then he freaked out on my guy for taking a clip from his thing. Like I asked him, hey, can we use clips? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then we like take a clip from that interview, put it on our channel. He fucking calls one of my clippers and freaks out on it. I was like, what is this? Like I was like, wow, this guy's a
Someone took a clip from his podcast.
yeah. So I asked, hey, is it cool if we pull clips from this thing for our clips channel? We pulled the clip. It was like 20, 30 minutes long.
Did he say yes?
Yeah, he said it was okay.
Yeah.
Right? And my guy pulls a clip from the interview. It's like a 2-3 hour long interview, whatever. And we pull the clip, we put it in there, right? And you have to put the clip kind of as an entirety so it makes sense. It's like 20, 30 minutes long. I forget how long it was. But either way, like he calls me Clipper freaking out. And I was like, what the fuck? I lost a bunch of respect. Like he calls him like freaking out, like, or sends him like the super rude, long, angry text. And I was like, what the fuck? Because like my thing is, like whenever someone comes on my podcast, they want to use clips or whatever, I always tell them, sure, man, you know, try not to put the whole thing there, but you know, go ahead, you clip away, like whatever you want. Like I always share content with people. I mean, hell, you came to our studio, you filmed our thing. I didn't touch it. I gave it to you in full. Yeah. And then we pulled clips from it before. Like, yeah, I'm totally cool with that. And if someone like does an interview on our thing and it's for their channel, I give it to them exclusive. You take it, and then we can pull clips from it before. But like when he freaked out, I was like, what the is this?
When it comes to celebrities, people are starting to wake up about the agendas that they have to push in order to become famous and maintain their celebrity status. The first two coming to mind, like when you talk about celebrities, I thought about Ice Spice and Zendaya. Zendaya in her last movie, Challengers, for example, I don't know if you saw it, but it's about like she's like gets two guys to compete for her, and there's this like scene where the tennis movie, right? And the scene where they're like the gay guys are like competing over her. She like
they're gay guys in the movie.
Yeah, well, I mean they're gay, but they're like bisexual, and they're trying to like compete for Zendaya. Okay. And there's a scene in the trailer where she's looking up like this, like doing this stare, like, ooh, look what I'm making, I'm doing. Dead center of the frame, she's wearing a cross. Like right, it's a zoom in right there. There's a zipper here and there's a cross right here. So right over during this degeneracy, they go and pinpoint and they're trying to disrespect Christianity. Ice Spice on the Super Bowl halftime show, she's there with Taylor Swift every time. And I saw the Super Bowl. I don't often watch football, but I was being a normie, whatever. I'm watching this thing, and every time they put the frame on her, they had like a Taylor Swift dedicated camera. Ice Spice is right next to her, and every time they put her on, she's like dropping devil signs. She's wearing an upside down cross. Yeah. Like, why do they need to do this? This is the biggest time, the biggest stage she's ever had, and they immediately have to disrespect Christianity and push Satanism. People are starting to wake up to the fact in order to maintain celebrity to this status, you have to like go through humiliation rituals, and you have to push Satanism. And I think
what they did to John Cena was crazy too.
What did they do to John Cena?
Like he was naked.
He got naked on the stage at the Grammys.
That thing. When he walked out with the.
People are starting to wake up to this. It's not just a coincidence. These are real agendas.
So you think they're like, yo, wear this thing,
and then we'll make you famous.
So they're like, yo, her publicist, who hit her up and was like, yo, put
her
this
publicist gets a suggestion from the leader of the Super Bowl, like, we think it would be a great idea. Oh, if she wore this cross, it would be provocative in a way. Like, if she wants to get it, she has to wear this, and they have a wardrobe.
You don't think she just thought look cool?
No, I don't think she has any idea like what she's doing. No.
She a dumb whore, bro.
This is why what does she talk about? Like, let's be real. Like, I have nothing against Ice Spice. I might run into her. It's fine. What does she say that resonates with people? Nothing. Like, if you even listen to her music, think I'm the poop, fart, perk, fart.
Damn.
Poop, twerk. That's what she says. Yeah, pooping, perking, farting. Like, it's the dumbest possible lyrics ever.
You a munch. Like, bro,
I eat you for lunch, munchity poop. It's like a 3-year-old could write for lyrics, funny. Bro.
Yeah,
that's what she does. What does Zendaya talk about? Does anyone know her opinions on anything? Like,
I know she loves Tom Holland.
And then she makes fun of him in this movie. Like, she doesn't actually, like, she doesn't say anything that resonates with people. They prop her up, and she's pretty much just a puppet for these people to destroy culture.
A lot of these celebs don't have, like, real, if you ask, like, if you try to see what their stances are on anything, it's very ambiguous. You don't know. Like, when The Rock went on Rogan, he did, like, a masterclass in talking without saying anything. Like, that's just what it is. So, like, anyway, you know, just to finish off on the whole situation, like I just was shocked when that happened. And then when I saw how he treated Steiny, I was like, yeah, now you guys are seeing like the real side of this guy.